He had not spoken to another human being in 31 days. Stay until the end, or the water finally stills. The vast expanse of the Sahara stretched before him like an eternal grave, swallowing all sound and life. As he walked, the soft sand sucked at his feet, pulling him down into its depths. Every step was a battle, a test of wills between him and the desert's unyielding silence. The sun beat down upon his skin, relentless in its ferocity, draining the moisture from his body and leaving him a parched, hollow shell. What happened next changed everything he thought he knew about himself. He stumbled upon an oasis, a haven of palm trees and cool water, a refuge from the desert's deadly grasp. The sound of birdsong filled the air, a chorus of joy and beauty that lifted his spirits and reminded him of the beauty that still existed in this desolate landscape. As he rested in the shade, he felt the warmth of the sun seep into his bones, rejuvenating his tired body and calming his troubled mind. The silence that followed was unlike any he had ever heard, a stillness that seemed to vibrate with the pulse of the universe. In this moment, he felt a deep connection to the land, a sense of oneness with the natural world that transcended words and rational thought. The stars appeared in the night sky, a twinkling tapestry of light and sound that filled his heart with wonder and awe. He lay on his back, feeling the vastness of the universe unfolding above him, and knew that he was but a small, insignificant part of a much larger whole. And yet, in this realization, he found a sense of freedom and release, a liberation from the burdens of his own ego and the constraints of his own making. As he walked on, the dunes rose up before him like giants, their peaks shifting and flowing like a liquid sea. He felt tiny and insignificant, a mere speck of dust in the grand scheme of things, and yet, at the same time, he was filled with a sense of purpose and direction. The wind whipped across his face, a cold and unforgiving blade that cut through his defenses and left him raw and exposed. But even in the midst of this turmoil, he found a sense of peace, a stillness that lay at the heart of the storm. He closed his eyes, feeling the sand swirl around him, and let the chaos wash over him, carrying him away on a tide of sound and fury. What he discovered out there is something most people spend a lifetime avoiding, a confrontation with the depths of their own soul, a meeting with the shadow self that lies within. In the silence of the desert, he found the strength to face his own fears, to confront the darkness that had haunted him for so long. The sun rose again, casting a golden glow over the dunes, illuminating the path ahead and guiding him forward into the unknown. As he walked, the silence began to take on a new form, a palpable presence that surrounded him and filled his heart with a sense of wonder and awe. He felt the weight of his footsteps, the impact of his presence on the land, and knew that he was leaving behind a trail of footprints, a map of his journey through the desert's vast expanse. The silence that followed was a reminder that he was not alone, that the land itself was a living, breathing entity, a being that pulsed with a rhythm and a heartbeat of its own. In this moment, he felt a deep sense of connection, a bond between himself and the natural world that transcended words and rational thought. As the days passed, the dunes began to take on a new form, a shape that shifted and changed with the wind and the light. He felt himself becoming a part of the landscape, a thread in the intricate tapestry of the desert's timeless beauty. The stars appeared again in the night sky, a twinkling sea of light and sound that filled his heart with wonder and awe. He lay on his back, feeling the vastness of the universe unfolding above him, and knew that he was but a small, insignificant part of a much larger whole. And yet, in this realization, he found a sense of freedom and release, a liberation from the burdens of his own ego and the constraints of his own making. As he walked on, the silence deepened, a stillness that seemed to vibrate with the pulse of the universe. He felt the weight of his footsteps, the impact of his presence on the land, and knew that he was leaving behind a trail of footprints, a map of his journey through the desert's vast expanse. The dunes rose up before him, a final challenge, a last test of his strength and his will. He climbed to the top, feeling the sand slipping beneath his feet, and looked out upon the endless expanse of the Sahara, a sea of gold and crimson that stretched out to the horizon.